Good evening and welcome to a program devoted entirely to Lefties Losing It. Start with the former President Joe Biden, who was wheeled out to again attack Donald Trump. And he also received an award from something called the LGBTQ plus Victory Institute. Joe Biden delivered a powerful message there about remembering who the hell you are.
We just have to get up. As long as we keep the faith, summon hope, and get back up and remember who in the hell we are. We're the United States of America. That's who we are. We're the U.S. We're the United States of America.
That's who we are. The United States of America got it. Powerful, powerful stuff there from old Joe. Can't believe people doubted his mental acuity. How dare they? Someone else who has suffered a significant decline in recent years is Prince Harry. Remember when he was the most popular royal along with the Queen, when he was beloved in the United Kingdom and beyond, the second in line to the throne? He's now reduced to this, whatever this is.
So if you was treated like a king for the day, what would you want me to do for you?
Beg for me, probably.
You'd want me to do what? Beg?
Beg. Beg.
Beg?
B-A-K. Beg.
What?
Bake.
Oh, bake!
If that's not the most cringeworthy, pitiful and unfunny mess you've ever seen, what was he thinking? Prince Harry on soon-to-be unemployed Stephen Colbert's awful program, doing whatever that was, and then there was this.
Stephen, you just have to believe. Doesn't this prove anything can happen? I mean, minutes ago, you said it was impossible. But look, isn't there a handsome prince standing in front of you right now?
Look, Harry, I'm sorry.
Handsome, okay. Reminder that this clown abandoned his family, abandoned his duty, not his title though. He abandoned Britain because of the media attention, the intrusion. He wanted a private life. He wanted normality for his family. He fled the awful media intrusion to do reality programs, do tell-all interviews and embarrass his family with little skits like this.
You're an actual prince. Why would you want to be in one of those movies?
Well, you Americans are obsessed with Christmas movies, and you're clearly obsessed with royalty, so why not?
Hold on. Look, I wouldn't say we're obsessed with royalty.
Really? I heard you elected a king.
That's a fair point.
If you're a homeowner in America, you need to listen to this. The FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud on the rise called title theft, and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on a single document, use a fake notary stamp and file it with the county, and just like that, on record, they own your home. Using your ownership, they can take out loans against your equity or even sell your property. And you won't know about it until foreclosure or collection notices show up in the mail. That's why I've partnered with Home Title Lock so you can protect your equity and find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code Rita at hometitlelock.com and you'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title records, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud occurs, their US-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. That's hometitlelock.com, promo code Rita, or use the link below. A British musician losing it right here in Australia, the lead singer of Garbage, who back in the day produced some exceptional music, not for a while now, but the lead singer these days is donning outfits in the Palestinian colours, ranting about genocide and having an absolute meltdown over a beach ball.
You guy with your big beach ball. Ooh, I'm so scared of you, so thrilled by you. What a douchebag.
Oh, that that wasn't it. There was a lot more. This is about to get weird, folks.
Like, it literally makes me want to beg people to go over there and punch you in the face. Oh, you're getting rid of the balloon now? Yeah, you beg dudes. Wow, oh my God, you're so cool. It's just so outrageously cool, I can't get over it. Wow. It's disrespectful, and musicians have had enough, and we're fed up of not getting paid properly, and fed up of having to play for douchebags like you. You're a middle-aged man in a ridiculous hat.
That dude in the ridiculous hat has paid to watch live music, Shirley. He's paid to support musicians, to watch you perform at the Good Things Festival in Melbourne. And that meltdown only got worse. Shirley Manson was actually hoping that that poor bloke got bashed up. I mean, this is unhinged.
You're a face, and I literally want to ask people to punch you in the face. But you know what? I'm a lady, so I won't. But if truly,
Violence is not the
I would
answer,
love to send my
surely.
crew over to you up, but you know what? I won't, because I pity you, because you're a small man with a small.
What is wrong with you, ladies? Surely you can't be serious. One beach ball got that response, and then she doubled down on that behaviour, releasing a statement justifying it. She said she makes no apologies whatsoever. But guess what? She did issue an apology, because even the lefty music world turned on her. Here is Stand Atlantic, who are appearing with Garbage in the Good Things Festival. This is how they started their set in Sydney. And I got to say, I have never been more proud of Brisbane. This is how they responded to Shirley's tantrum, by bringing dozens of beach balls to the Brisbane performance. Yep, this is how you respond to a lefty losing it.
If you're ready for love, if you're ready for love, if you're ready for balls, if you're ready for balls.
Well done, Brisbane. You did us proud. I think it was after that Shirley Manson finally read the room and apologised. And, of course, she's changing lyrics now. But, of course, like a good lefty, like a typical cry bully, she's playing the victim and virtue signalling.
So the only thing that kind of shocks me a little is that there's been more fuss made about me offending beach balls than there has about 20,000 Palestinian kids. I would just like to remind you all what actually is important in this life. And maybe a beach ball brings you joy, and for that I apologise. If I upset you about your blessed beach balls, I humbly apologise.
I don't think people were upset that you were insulting beach balls, Shirley. I think it was the threats of violence against a poor dude who happened to have one at your performance. Now, time to see what Saturday Night Live are up to, and they have decided to mock War Secretary Pete Hegseth, but they just made him seem cooler and hotter.
The music. What? First things first. Where are the fatties? You, out.
What? I'm not even fat.
Ooh, really? You think you're hiding it under that blazer, Porky?
If that's supposed to make me hate him, it's not working, NBC.
Now listen up. As you probably read in some gay newspaper, we're now at war with Venezuela. All you nerds are like, wait, but was there an official declaration of war? Yeah, it's right here. Superfinger, Dane Cook. Now you got questions for me? Fine. Pretend I'm a random fishing boat and fire away.
Oh, random fishing boat. We're going with that narrative, are we, Saturday Night Live? Now, talking about fatties, imagine how much time you must have on your hands and how desperate you must be to be offended that you take issue with this.
Why is there diet culture on the parking meters? Why do we have on the parking meters, sometimes I diet, don't feed me on the following holidays? Why are we promoting fat phobia and diet culture even on the parking meters in LA? It gets to a point. It really does get to a point. This is an issue and this needs to be fixed. West Hollywood, this is actually disgusting.
It's a fine time to check on the woman of many accents, no, not Kamala Harris, but private school educated Jasmine Crockett. Here she is suggesting that it'd be a great idea if black folk didn't pay taxes. She heard a celebrity say it, so you know it's a good idea.
Just this past week I saw, I don't remember which celebrity, but it was actually a celebrity, and I was like, I don't know that that's not necessarily a bad idea, but I'd have to think through it a lot. One of the things that they propose is black folk not have to pay taxes for a certain amount of time, because then again, that puts money back in your pocket. But at the same time, it may not be as objectionable to some people about actually giving out dollars. But obviously then you start dealing with the different tax brackets and things like that. And that's one of the reasons that, you know, we argue the reparations make sense, because so many black folk, not only do you owe for the labor that was stolen and killed and all the other things, right? But the fact is, like, we end up being so far behind.
That's Democrat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, and she now wants to be Senator Jasmine Crockett. She is running for the US Senate in 2026, and this is her first campaign video. It's just basically President Trump describing her as a low IQ, hard left radical. Pretty accurate, really.
How about this new one they have, their new star, Crockett? How about her? She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble.
But you have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. Crockett. Oh, man, oh, man. She's a very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding.
Now they're going to rely on Crockett. Crockett's going to bring them back.
It's a fine time to have a look at the leftist mainstream media and work out just why trust in these institutions is at record lows. I wonder if CNN's Jake Tapper has any ideas on why Americans trust used car salesmen more than the media.
The FBI finally announced that they had arrested a suspect accused of planting pipe bombs near the Republican and Democratic National Committee headquarters the night before the January 6, 2021 Capitol attack. Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device.
Say what now, Jake? A 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs? That's what you said. Is this a white man, according to CNN? But then we shouldn't be surprised, because CNN, including Jake Tapper, pushed the Fine People hoax against Donald Trump for 4 years, not to mention every other debunked hoax, including the Russian collusion hoax. Also on CNN, we had this woman, Ashley Allison, claiming this individual is some MAGA supporter and saying, we're all surprised he's not white.
I'm going to say the thing out loud that I think everyone is not saying and is actually surprised, and why I think Janine Pirro is actually saying it. I think the fact that this man is a black man is surprising to people. I think people thought this was going to be a white man that did this. They were going to be able to say he was a part of the progressive left. And the fact that it's a black man that is saying, I too was susceptible to conspiracy theorists that the president and conservative podcasters were pushing that this election was stolen is a fact that they were not expecting. And now everyone is on their heels and they're trying to spin it.
The only one spinning it is you, love, and your fellow political activists at CNN, including Abby Phillip, who even tried to push the notion that this alleged offending was no different to January 6 political prisoners, many of whom were guilty of nothing more than trespassing. Watch Isabel Brown school Abby on her own show.
I do wonder if he had been actually caught
around the time of January 6th and prosecuted, would he have been included in Trump's pardons?
I mean, okay, this is absolutely beyond the pale to me, to be honest, to claim that we don't know any sort of inkling of a motive of this individual when just a few months prior there was a lawsuit ruled in the Trump administration's favor against this particular individual for his company seeking to let illegal immigrants out of prison on bail bonds. He put in the
it's called a hypothetical,
from individuals
right?
who participated.
So it's called a hypothetical. Had he been prosecuted alongside all of those other people who were involved in violent acts on January 6th, would Donald Trump have pardoned him?
No, because individuals who walked into the Capitol building on January 6th were not planting pipe bombs.
Oh, Abby, do better. But we shouldn't be surprised by Abby Phillip being a hard left activist. She did, after all, go on Joy Reid's podcast and agreed with pretty much everything Joyless had to say. And Joy is back spewing more venom. Listen to this.
And, you know, having been inside of a Republican National Convention and had that vibe from a senior citizen, someone's grandma, but whose glee was directed towards some of the most heinous ideas you could imagine, right? You know, sort of gleeful towards sort of returning to 1930s Germany, not even the United States. Like, I know that it's real. I actually think that what those people wanted and what Donald Trump is delivering is ethnic cleansing.
You know, that woman needs a padded cell and a straitjacket, not a microphone. Reminder, Joy is so loopy and hard left that even MSNBC sacked her. But for Abby Phillip, she's perfectly sound. And let's not forget, Abby Phillip also had this next shrieky charlatan on her program. Not only is Jennifer Welch uniquely awful and hate-filled, she's also a bald-faced liar.
Elon Musk, who I want to remind everybody that's against immigration, is a immigrant. I just think it's really important that we remind everybody all the time that Elon Musk is a immigrant that doesn't pay taxes, who is a parasite off the American taxpayer.
Oh dear, every American knows Elon Musk is an immigrant, Jennifer. But did you just claim that the man who provides hundreds of thousands of jobs and contributes tens of billions in salaries is a parasite? The man who went into space to rescue astronauts is a parasite. The man who spent over $40 billion to buy Twitter to help preserve free speech, it wasn't a business decision. He's a parasite. As for your lies about Elon not paying taxes, the truth is not only does he pay tax, including personal income tax, but it's the most tax anyone has ever paid in the US, around $12 billion, and that was just in 2021. Now to ABC, and here we watch another anchor be embarrassed on his own show, this time by Eric Schmidt, Senator for Missouri, who points out why Democrat operative George Stephanopoulos, well, why his show is failing in the ratings.
It's been front page news across the country. Aren't you curious about that?
Well, I'm curious about your pushback on that particular point. With your previous guest, you had zero pushback because he's giving the Democrat talking points like you spew every single week, which is probably why your ratings are so bad.
Now, Minnesota Governor and failed vice presidential candidate Tim Walz is continuing to whine about President Trump calling him, and I quote, seriously retarded. He claims that people are now driving past his house, calling him that once taboo word, and that may lead to violence.
I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word in front of people. This is shameful. And I have yet to see an elected official, a Republican elected official, say, you're right, that's shameful. He should not say it. So look, I'm worried. We know how these things go. They start with taunts, they turn to violence. So deeply concerned.
This is the same inept governor who was wishing death on Donald Trump not too long ago. Does he think we've forgotten about that and that we've memory hold his comments likening a Trump rally at Madison Square Garden to a Nazi rally? Do you think that could have inspired violence, Tim Walz?
And I think some of you don't miss on this. Go do your Google on this. Donald Trump's got this big rally going at Madison Square Garden. There's a direct parallel to a big rally that happened in the mid-1930s at Madison Square Garden. And don't think that he doesn't know for 1 second exactly what they're doing there.
You know, I suspect the White House, or at least its social media team, may be watching the Rita Panahi show. We did a little segment featuring Christmas decorations under the Biden White House compared to Melania's work this year. And What do you know? The White House has just released this very droll before and after video.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
I mean, where the fuck should I really even start? I got hope that I'm keeping in the dark.
It's becoming increasingly difficult to separate reality from parody when it comes to Lefties Losing It. If you told me there was a production about a transgender woman with a passion for coal mining who has to fight the patriarchy and entrenched gender norms to succeed, I would have thought, well, you were talking about some sort of Saturday Night Live skit. But it's real and it's on Netflix. This is The Queen of Coal. Really.
It's always been my dream to work in the mine.
Rodriguez, Carlos, underground. They sent the faggots.
Do you feel safe in that work environment? I need a job, not friends. To them, I'm just another guy.
You're not a guy and you're not like them.
If you say you're a woman now, then you'll have to do women's work. And you know this company assigns different jobs to women.
It's not fair what they're doing to you.
No one can take away what you've earned, Carly. You earned it. It's yours.
I'm a minor, Violet. A minor.
Look, I'm just thrilled that we have Netflix celebrating fossil fuels, the mining industry that keeps the lights on. Bravo, though I do suspect there'll be some global warming narratives pushed in that production. Time to check in on the awful phenomenon that's affluent white female lefties who are at the forefront of just about every terrible idea in America and throughout the West at the moment. And not only are they, as a group, comically clueless, but their race obsessions make them utterly insufferable as well.
I'm going to be honest, I don't feel good about being white every day for a lot of reasons. Because it's a point of privilege that I get to move through the world in a way that so many of my other colleagues and friends and family members in the community don't get the privilege to do. And I'm just a female, but just a woman, just a white woman. If I was a white man, I would be functioning from a point of an even greater privilege.
That's Democrat Sarah Stalker from the great state of Kentucky, and she's not satisfied with feeling bad about being white herself. She wants your kids to feel the same way. This is just gross.
When kids have a moment to reflect about how the color of their skin does and does not allow them to move through the world, running to them and trying to stifle that and trying to say you shouldn't feel bad, so we don't want to ever expose you to something that is going to make you have to pause and have maybe some internal feelings. It's a missed opportunity for some really good dialogue.
I'm going to play you a video now that could double as an ad for homeschooling. This is what 6th grade students in Maryland were exposed to. It's all about how to be non-binary.
We were actually going to be talking about tips for being non-binary. If you feel like a label will be helpful for you, then go ahead and attach yourself to that label, but don't feel like you have to stick to it. And you're able to change, you can evolve. I have had that experience myself in my own journey. You know, I did identify as straight, even though I never really was. I identified as bi for a minute, even though I actually was never bi. And then I identified as a lesbian, which is probably the closest terminology for my sexuality, because I like girls. And the non-binary thing also came around in an odd way.
And why stop there with the great advice? Why not tell confused girls how to bind their breasts, to hate their own bodies so much that they resort to painful binding?
General advice about binding is make sure you're being safe about it. Don't be wearing a binder more than 8 hours in a day. Definitely not exercising. The reason why I personally don't really wear binders that much is because of breathing. It restricts your breathing.
Restricts your breathing, but by all means still advise confused girls to do it. Just be safe about it. Restrict your breathing in a safe manner. And sticking with the excesses of the trans movement, here is California Governor Gavin Newsom.
We didn't get into trans sports. That's an issue no one wants to hear about because 80% of the people listening disagree with my position on this. But it comes from my heart, not just my head. It wasn't a political evolution. It was
position being that
I don't think it's. I want to see trans kids. I have a trans godson. There's no governor that's signed more pro-trans legislation than I have, and no one has been a stronger advocate for the LGBTQ community.
At least he knows that 80% of people disagree with him, 100% of sane people. That's the current king clown ruling over California. And if you thought Gavin Newsom was bad, just look at the Democrats looking to replace him, including this next woman, Betty Yee, who also can't see any issue with male bodies in female sport.
They are now part of, they have been through a transition, a physical transition, and I do believe that they should be able to participate. I think there's a lot of information we need to learn about what's really happening with the ability of trans athletes to compete. But my statement is about being able to be sure that they can compete. And right now,
but my question is whether you think they should compete in women's sport in the Olympics, because it's coming to LA, so it's relevant.
I think transgender female athletes are women athletes, and they should be able to compete.
Really?
There you go. Mediocre male athletes everywhere can look forward to gold medals in LA. Now, this next clip is incredible. Just the hysteria, the divorce from reality, the sense of entitlement. Watch this woman have a full-blown meltdown on behalf of a trans client who was misgendered by a law enforcement officer.
Hey TikTok, can you guys help me spam call the Mon County Probation Office in Monongalia County, West Virginia for being transphobic as I took one of my clients today to the probation office, and he is a trans mask individual, and he went back to do his drug test. And when he was back there, the front desk lady came out and said, she'll be right out. And I politely said, you know, he goes by he, him pronouns. And she looks at me and she says, she has a vagina, so she's a girl. And I was just like stunned. Like, I cannot believe that people are still saying this shit. Like, on the job. And then they wonder why queer people and trans people are not showing up for probation, not showing up for day report, not showing up for drug court, because they're misgendered and met with violent transphobia every step of the way.
Violence? Misgendering is now violence. And by misgendering, I mean stating biological realities. Imagine how privileged you must be to feel entitled to harass folks just doing their jobs because they didn't play along with your delusions.